I was born in John Day, raised and lived my entire life here in Prairie City. The land has been in our family for as long as I can remember. Before I was there, my grandparents had that property. I take care of it as well as I can.
So this 190-acre job, the trees were very stagnant. They weren't growing, and they weren't growing well anymore because of a significant dwarf mistletoe problem in the Douglas fir. And so the trees were just stressed because of drought and the dwarf mistletoe. And it really needed to be thinned, opened up, and remove, a lot of these trees that are dead or dying.
I was never able to get through this area. My livestock wasn't able to get through this area. And just from growing up around here, I know what wildfires do.
Fire was a huge concern in this drainage because historically here in Eastern Oregon, lightning is always going to show up during the summer months. And if you would get a fire going in this stand of timber before it was treated, you would have lost the whole stand.
It was pretty scary and has been for years. We were kind of, I guess, in a hard spot. There really was nobody capable to come in and log it. So we basically just had to keep our fingers crossed that lightning didn't hit.
Well, I've known the landowner for a long time, and I'm fairly familiar with the property and knew that it was really steep and required line logging or something similar.
With today's technology, thankfully, there is equipment that will successfully be able to navigate steep slopes like this and harvest the timber, and that's called a tethered logging system.
We could have logged 10% of this job without this equipment, and we'll be able to log, I believe, 100% of this job with this equipment.
This was the right equipment for the job.
The local markets, kind of always prohibited line logging here to truck it out of the area. So when the local mill opened and I had already planned on purchasing this equipment, it just kind of seemed like a fit.
One of the benefits of Prairie Wood Products, that sawmill opening back up, is it's given landowners another option on where to take their wood.
We definitely would not have, been able to log this piece of property if Prairie Wood Products in Prairie City wouldn't have opened up.
Well, just the two pieces of equipment are roughly $1.6 million. So it takes a lot of production to cover those costs. It's definitely more expensive logging, but we're hoping to make it where it's affordable for the landowner. We're trying to take out the diseased and dying trees and leave a healthier stand of trees thinned out so it has an opportunity to take off after we're done harvesting.
The operation is on a steep hillside, 80% slope probably in a lot of places. And so the concern was, how are we going to keep all this material in place and not have it end up in the bottom of the draw where the fish-bearing stream is? When I came back to do my first inspection, once the operation had begun, he'd already taken the initiative to put these barriers along the creek to keep sediment from running into that water.
As we were starting in the bottom, we were processing some of the timber and packing brush, kind of lining the edge of the creek and between the road and the creek to make sure to keep any sediment from running into the creek.
It's a really tight canyon down there where this creek is. There's not a lot of space, and so the landings have to be well thought out for the material that's coming down slope to the creek bottom there. And he had done a lot of pre-planning, and then when he implemented it, I could clearly see that he was going above and beyond what the FPA would require of him. The intent of the rules are to minimize stream crossings, and Tim Rude found a way to go from having 4 crossings down to only having 2 crossings, which is significant to me because that is costing him time and money, and that showed that he really was concerned about protecting that fish-bearing stream. As he's logging that steep hillside, he's also strategically placing slash in different places for erosion control.
And on this steep slope, we're actually putting some of the brush in the trails as we're coming out of them to create a natural water bar rather than trying to water bar on this steep slope. We're putting small trees and tops in the trails.
The beauty of the creek will always be there. I don't think this job is going to affect it 1 ounce.
As we've moved into October, we've got snow and rain up here, and that's actually shut the operation down for a few days until things dry out. So the weather has been a big challenge for him.
In Eastern Oregon, it's not very common to have good rocked roads, so we have to have freezing conditions or dry, and so this fall wet weather kind of working against us.
He's adapted to it. He's conscious about the weather and the soil conditions, and if there's going to be too much disturbance, he's not going to operate.
And I'm actually excited to be able to get up here and clean it up and log it for the landowner.
And the benefit is more moisture is going to hit the ground, and it's going to create a healthier forest in the future.
And I'm hoping that it really improves, and I think the landowner will be happy with the end result.
The ultimate goal would be that it stayed in the family and it can continue to be healthy forest, and we're just being good stewards of the land, trying to make it better.